Illegal aliens in the US factually, one way, in some form or another, receive benefits, healthcare, social security, food cards, housing, and so much more. Dems put illegals first, housing and feeding them, while putting us last, and our vets slept and died on the streets. During a Democratic debate aired live on MSNBC, over 10 were asked if their government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Every single one of them raised their hand. Chuck Schumer is on camera openly saying he wants all 14, or however many million illegal aliens there are in this country, to become documented US citizens. Democrats accidentally created one of the best ads against them. When they were asked whether they put America and Americans first or illegals first, every Democrat stayed quiet and seated, while the right cheered for supporting America and Americans. In January 2024, California became the first state to expand Medicaid to all low-income residents, regardless of immigration status. This program was designed to cover approximately 700,000 undocumented adults between 26 and 49. The state projected a $12 billion budget deficit in 2025. Reports indicated that the cost of providing Medi-Cal to undocumented immigrants was higher than anticipated, with estimates rising from $6.5 billion to $9.5 billion due to higher than expected enrollment. Illegals do drive countless big rigs, putting Americans at risk. ICE arrested over 100 illegal alien truck drivers from Mexico, India, Russia, and other countries in California highway sweep after deadly crashes. Illegals get free emergency care hospitals have to treat anyone, no questions asked. So yes, your tax dollars go straight into stitching up cartel runners and giving dialysis to people who never paid a cent. And they're not paying Social Security. They're using stolen numbers, which pads the trust fund on paper, but when they claim it later, guess who's on the hook? Future citizens. Citizens like veterans who wait months for care, or cancer patients who go bankrupt on premiums. The law says treat the undocumented first, bill the government later, and the government just passes the bill to you. That's the scam. Free for them, broke for us. The EBT fraud was massive Amazon purchases, fur coats, etc. that's linked. We need to focus on real work, skill, being productive, and not trapping folks on assistance forever. The shutdowns of recent were entirely on Dems because they want to force things like harmful demands for illegals, holding us hostage. My shutdowns piece is linked. Illegals openly admit they get Social Security numbers in videos, and even CNN admitted that some do get Social Security numbers. CNN admitted it. I have serious had lefties try to tell me illegal immigration is a net positive for the US. Well, that's factually incorrect and is denial of common sense. Some states allow undocumented immigrants to access Medicaid for emergency services, but there's no evidence they receive broad government assistance through the program. Federal law, specifically the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Act of 1996, bars undocumented immigrants from most federally funded benefits, including Medicare and non-emergency Medicaid. However, certain states use their own funds to provide limited Medicaid coverage for specific groups, like pregnant women or children, regardless of immigration status, which could be seen as supporting those populations without direct federal aid. Let me see your hands if you're sick of seeing illegal aliens who don't even speak English going through the grocery store line ahead of you, with 4 anchor babies and 2 carts full of food, while the old man in the veteran's cap behind you has 3 items in his cart, because that's all he can afford. I personally have seen it constantly where I live. It happens everywhere. There are homeless vets begging in front of Walmart, while Haitian men have overflowing carts full of taxpayer-funded groceries. They have no interest in assimilating or learning the language. They get put in 4-star hotels. New York City alone shelled out $2.3 million a night. Yes, a night tax dollars straight from your pocket. They get $1,200 prepaid cards for groceries, while vets sleep on sidewalks. They get Greyhound buses, taxis, flights full relocation packages into sanctuary cities, where landlords get bribed with your money to house them first, Americans last. San Francisco handed out $85 million to nonprofits to feed them, house them, school them. Citizens can't even get food stamps without a 6-month wait. Real Americans freeze in tents while these folks get warm blankets and caseworkers. It's not compassion, it's conquest. Paragon Institute crunched the numbers, nearly $200 billion just for illegals' healthcare in the first decade alone. And don't pretend ignorance. Kamala Harris said it outright in her 2020 campaign. We will not turn our backs on immigrants, including providing healthcare access. Schumer's been crowing about humanitarian aid for migrants since the border floodgates opened. Biden's crew even bragged in White House fact sheets about expanding coverage for vulnerable populations, code for illegals. If that's not openly stated, what is? Your side's allergic to accountability, but the receipts are public. Go read them before you cry misinformation again. The left claims illegals get zilch on healthcare to make it sound like we're not footing the bill, but that's a lie of omission. Taxpayer cash flows to them big time, even without federal benefits eligibility. KFF's September 25 report. Undocumented folks hit emergency rooms under EMTALA, costing hospitals billions. Americans pick up the tab via uncompensated care, about $40 billion yearly per Urban Institute data. CMS's May 25 crackdown? They busted states like California and New York for illegally funneling federal Medicaid dollars to cover illegals' non-emergency care, like prenatal or kids' checkups, totaling hundreds of millions in misused funds. HHS's July 25 ban slammed the door on taxpayer programs propping up illegals, But before that, states were gaming the system with our money. And don't forget DACA recipients. Obama's crew made them eligible for ACA marketplace subsidies in blue states, costing $1.5 billion in federal tax credit since 2020 per CBO. No direct Medicaid? Fine. But we're bankrolling their care through backdoor state schemes, ER mandates and fraud. That's the real scam busted wide open. Illinois' HB to 250% of poverty level, costing $700 million in taxpayer dollars that year alone, per state budget docs. Washington's universal healthcare access. Program funnels local taxes into free clinics and screenings for illegals, hitting $150 million annually, straight from the governor's office report. New Jersey's NJ Family Care covers undocumented kids and pregnant women with state cash, totaling over $200 million yearly, as admitted in their 2025 fiscal summary. Colorado's Health First Colorado extension for non-citizens, another $100 million in state funds gone. And get this, even the feds caught on HHS's October memo exposed how blue states looped in federal matching dollars through sneaky presumptive eligibility loopholes for illegals' routine visits, clawing back $500 million already. Taxpayers are getting hosed, no matter what the left spins. Illinois Auditor General's February 2025 Performance Audit Report on HFS health benefits for immigrant seniors and adults details $1.2 billion in state taxpayer costs from 2020 to 2024 for covering undocumented immigrants. Washington State Healthcare Authority's Apple Health expansion page. Borderless Magazine, July 22, 2025, documents how these programs delivered free doctor visits, meds, and hospital stays to thousands of illegals before partial rollbacks. CBO's latest October 2025 score on the stalled Build Back Better remnants projects $25 billion in federal reimbursements to states over the next decade for uncompensated care, tied to undocumented ER visits and screenings. Pure taxpayer bleed. Gau's September audit on DACA recipients found 200,000 plus deferred folks pulling in $1.8 billion yearly through state Medicaid loopholes in blue states, dressed up as emergency extensions for chronic stuff like diabetes management. And don't sleep on Minnesota's North Star Promise Act, signed July 2025, earmarks $300 million in state funds for community health centers serving undocumented families, per the legislature's fiscal note, all sourced from property taxes hitting working folks. Left says no benefits. This is their blueprint for open wallet socialism. Yes, undocumented immigrants are confirmed to receive SNAP benefits. Full stop. USDA confirms they apply on behalf of citizen kids. The household gets the card, the money flows, no workaround needed. Prorated, sure, but full benefits land in undocumented homes anyway. States go direct. California, New York, Illinois hand out SNAP cash straight to illegals with taxpayer money. Federal law, 7 CFR section 273.4, citizenship not required to file. They file. They win. Bottom line, they're not excluded. They're eating with our cards. 6 states improperly use federal tax dollars for their allegedly state-funded Medicaid program to provide coverage to illegal aliens, including some with criminal records of murder and assault. Illegal immigrants, they cost us taxpayers over $150 billion yearly after taxes paid, more in welfare, education, healthcare than they contribute, handing out 17,000 non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses to dangerous foreign drivers who have no business operating massive semi-trucks or school buses on American roads. Read. California DMV admits illegally issuing licenses. DC appeals court strikes down Trump.safety rules. Allows immigrants to obtain commercial licenses again, despite fatal Florida truck crash act of war.